Okay, so let's go back to this piece, this plat, and this sales tax. Councilman Gordon, what's your take on that?
And we have put so many hours worth of research, driving to the meeting, driving to Highland Village, looking at where and how we're going to make these decisions. It's important to us. I know it's important to y'all. It's important to Mr. Goldfield. My opinion, Mayor, is that 60% retail sales tax on 20 acres to help this town is better than 0% retail sales tax to help us down. In this agreement, in Exhibit B under the plan for development, Mr. Goldfield has agreed to allow for a place of worship or a church in the town of Hickory Creek. We don't currently have that. He's allowed for public buildings for cultural use or a library. Hickory Creek doesn't have their own library. He's allowed for use of a country club. Hickory Creek doesn't have a place for 100 people to assemble for a homeowners association meeting. They have to go to another church or another school that's not in the town of Hickory Creek. We don't have a veterinary office. In this development plan, he has kindly, specifically detailed churches, synagogues, chapels, public buildings, libraries, country club, veterinary clinic, crop production, public or private parks, trails, and similar recreation use. To me, that's a lot of what this town doesn't have, but could use, and we have no guarantee if we don't do it today, and he sells it to Weissman Group or sells it to Staubach or whoever wants to come and develop it. I think we take, to me, the best thing that the town can do is take what we can for the city now, instead of doing nothing. If we do nothing, I think we're at a greater risk. That's my opinion.
Discussion on this side?
I agree with Chris. I have a lot of nightmares about all this. But there's a saying: if you don't know what road to take, any road will do. But I feel like I want to take the road that's going to be most beneficial to the town, both now and in the future. Like I said, we've had a lot of questions. We've heard them before. And we put together a wish list. We tried to do everything we can. There's a lot of things that are out of our control, but not as many as will be out of our control if it goes another direction. And I'm back with agreeing with Chris. I think we need to benefit from that, because that's one of the questions. If we do this, what's in it for us? And something is better than nothing, because we're not in control of the destiny of what may happen with that land as far as development if we don't enter into some kind of a process here. So.
And from the east side of the chute, any?
Kind of on the same lines. You know, obviously 60 is better than 50. 65 is better than 60.
You guys are hard to negotiate.
And obviously 60 is better than nothing as well. And so that's something that I think we have to consider as a council. And I never want to give away land, of course, but if we can get something that's what we've been saying is 0 now for that land on property taxes, or sales tax, excuse me, on that side of the town or side of Turbyville, I think we are in a better position than not doing it. That's my position. On the whole thing in general, our very first meeting, when I heard about this, like most of you tonight probably heard about it from a letter or a flyer that was misprinted incorrectly on a lot of it. It scares you. It scared you when I saw it for the first time, and I looked at it and said, oh gosh, this is going to change the Hickory Creek forever. And at first thought it does. But when you do your research and you come back and understand the position that the town is in, not us, we're in this together. We're just separated by this counter here. We're in this together. The research that you go do and the studies you've heard and the information you hear, it makes you understand that what we're getting, or we could get for this agreement, is better than what the town could get in the future. And we have to understand that, and we gotta do what's best for Hickory Creek. And I think everybody in this room, most everybody, I'll say, because it's never gonna be 100%, will understand the same decision if you had all the facts from all the meetings and all the workshops that are always posted on the building here. You would have the same situation. Everything is posted on this building here. We can't meet without that. You would hear and understand the same thing we heard. So from my standpoint, after the second meeting, I felt better. After the third meeting, I understood that they were working with us a lot more than we ever could have been imagined to with a developer coming in and buying the land from the landowner. So I think we're in a better position than we ever could have been from day one to now. That's my stance.
Continuing the east side of the horseshoe up here, I think the key, well, several things. I agree with what Paul Kenny just stated. When I first heard of it this as well, you're thinking, how can you allow 900 units, 1,000 units, whatever it is out there? As you study it and research it, and as we've been able to give strong input, and as they've taken our input for quality of living, the building standards, that started helping me feel more comfortable. I hate disannexing land. Hickory Creek is small enough land-wise. Hickory Creek is changing, whether we like it or not, due to Park Ridge and other, I-35 and other things that I read today, and I think it was USA Today or yesterday, Denton County is expected to grow 110% over the next 15 to 20 years. We are changing. What this is allowing us to do is to put a thumbprint, a building print, some standards into over 140-ish acres that we have no control over. Understanding that they could still proceed forward with this through, as our attorney was advising us a few minutes ago, I'd rather have input than not have input. I'd rather have work with the builder, the developer, the landowner than not have any input. None of us up here on this council are major landowners in town. Some of us live in Lakeview, some of us live in other neighborhoods. We have nothing to gain from this. I have 5 kids. I want what's best for Hickory Creek. I want to live here until I'm 85, and I want to be proud living here. I grew up in Arlington where apartments overruled the city and made that city a sad place to me, and I hate to say that because that's my hometown. So I understand the one citizen that said he moved here from South Arlington. This is our one shot to get something good for that area, I think, where we have interested sellers, interested council, interested citizens. We're not being, I'm going to say this wrong. We're not trying to hide anything. We're not hiding anything. We've held meetings. I'm sorry if people don't know we have meetings. I tell everybody I know every day, come to the meetings. This is what we're talking about. I want to hear input. All of us receive phone calls. All of us have received very angry, even borderline threatening phone calls. I find that very sad because we're not here to gain from this. We're here to make Hickory Creek a better place. I'm proud to call this place home, but I just want to make sure we do what's right for Hickory Creek. But I think with working with this, it is doing what is right for Hickory Creek.
Well, first of all, I agree with the rest of the council. I do agree with Councilman Kenny. I would like to see 65% of the sales tax. I don't know if the rest of the council goes along with that or not. But I think on the whole, this is a very much a positive, and I was like everybody else. When I first heard about it, before I found out facts, I wasn't for it. And I regret that a flyer went out that was full of misinformation. I hope that we've answered questions tonight. I know that you still may not be happy with this, But I guess we have to all ask ourselves, well, would we be happy if we don't do this and 6 apartment complexes go out there and we get no revenue off of it? And that's the issue I keep coming back to, that I feel like Ms. Ventura and her client have listened to us, they've listened to all of our questions, they've tried their best to meet those where they can, where they feel like they can, and we've pressed hard. I feel like we've, but you always have to keep in mind, you can press so much that you get to the point where they walk away and say, forget it, we don't want to deal with you, and they go do whatever they want. And that's where I think we are, and so, you know, I don't know that the tax percentage is up to me, but I think at this point we've negotiated a very good agreement. And I think a couple of things I do want to bring up, because I didn't see an update on this. I know you mentioned this, but in Article 7, under the police, fire, and EMS, one of the things that we talked about last time, Ms. Ventura, was that we would have 60 days to enter into a contract, and we had requested that you give us 90 days there.
Yes, ma'am, and the language was revised in section 7.1. It now reads, if the town does not respond to the initial request within 60 days of the date the district delivers a written request, or if the town and the district do not enter into a service contract within 150 days of the date the district delivers a written request to the town. So the town says, we would like you to provide police, fire, and EMS. You have 60 days to say, yeah, I'm interested in negotiating that contract, and a total or an additional 90 days or a total of 150 days to get that contract executed.
Okay, thank you. And then under 7.3, the Tuberville Road, the district using its road powers, we had requested that a third party agreed upon by the 2 entities, the district and...
Yes, ma'am, and that language now reads, the town council at its option may require the district to obtain a study performed consistent with the requirements of Texas Local Government Code section 212-904 to confirm the district's share of road and maintenance costs are roughly proportionate to the proposed development demand.
Thank you. Let me look and just see if I have anything else.
Thanks for addressing those, we didn't have those updates on our copy.
I apologize.
No, that's not your fault. That's great.
Hold on, let me get, I didn't know if I had a couple of others, I just need to go.
One additional change that was requested and made at the last time we met with respect to the plan for development, it now makes clear that commercial uses are permitted by right on a maximum of 20 acres and a minimum of 10 acres is required to be developed with such uses.
Right, that was the other one I was going to ask you about.
And those are the only changes I have.
I did have a question under Exhibit B, item D, landscaping. Originally this said all front, rear, and side yard areas shall be fully sodded, and rear was deleted. Can you give us an explanation of why that was deleted?
Yes, when I was visiting with the engineers that I work with that work for national home builders, I was told that that was not industry standard to sod the backyard, that industry standard was front and side, and so I removed the rear yard sod because I didn't want to exclude those types of developers.
Okay, so as it sits then, based on what I'm hearing, 60% on the sales tax, lot at 20 acres, potentially, depending on where the council's going to go with it, anything else.
I believe Misty had listed all the changes that I'd suggested.
Any questions, any other questions for Misty?